You're timing this?
Yeah.
Who's the producer here?
I am the producer. You're not the producer.
I
Nope.
definitely am the producer, buddy. I love you.
Okay, but we're both the talent.
Should we... oh my god, you're so right. We're equals. I never thought about it that way.
What do you think about it?
I thought, you're kind of the one, in my opinion. You're kind of the one who's driving this whole thing. I think
The
emotionally.
podcast? You were the one who wanted to do it.
I know, but again, that's like classic producer energy. It's like you have the stimulus to push something in a certain direction, and then you have your eyes on the prize of who can make it happen. No one would want to fucking see this thing if it was just me. Look at my goddamn face.
I think no one wanted to see if it was just me.
I would watch it.
Yeah, because you're horny.
I would watch it all night. Should we tell them what just happened? Should we tell them what just happened? Do you guys really want to know?
Give me another red wine. I'm very stressed out.
So what happened,
My
guys?
head is breaking out in hives, if that's even possible.
We filmed a full hour and a half.
An hour and a half?
Yeah.
Why do you go so long, bro?
No, we filmed an hour and 10. I thought we had 10 minutes left, but I'm just drunk. She got me drunk on the last one. She got me, and I thought we had 10 minutes left of recording time. We have 10 hours.
He was not giving in the last episode. He was just not giving.
I was not giving.
And we needed to pull something, we needed to make something happen. Okay?
We need to make magic happen. So what did they do in old Hollywood to young starlets?
You're right. That's what I did to you, baby.
Cheez-Its
and red vines are my comfort snacks, and I really needed one after this episode.
So we filmed an hour and 15 of me kind of just meandering. I wasn't in a good mood. I'm feeling much better now, though. Than I was prior. I was feeling really lonely and sad before.
During our podcast.
I was feeling so sad.
Wait, why?
I don't know. Do you ever get the feeling that the energy you get from the morning is because you hope today will be different? Was that a really sad thing to say out loud?
What do you mean?
Just situationally. I feel like you get this suburban energy of, everything is the same. I don't mean our relationship. I mean...
I didn't think you did.
Things outside of that. And I feel like sometimes I wake up with the hope that a situation will change. Not us.
I completely agree, and I felt I was the only one who felt that way in this relationship until you took a shot and said it all.
Not at all. I definitely feel that way.
What do you wish would happen?
I mean, I think that the obvious is something in the line of what we want to actually do with our lives.
That's true.
I feel like that's the obvious, you guys. For folks watching at home. I wish that
It was a tough day because...
I love you. Continue. It was a tough day. Continue.
No, you go.
No, it was a tough day.
No, you
Continue.
go. Don't touch my foot.
It was a tough day. Continue.
It was a tough day because we stayed inside all day. We did literally nothing. I feel like a dehydrated raisin. And
whoa, because raisins are already pretty dehydrated. So if you're a dehydrated raisin,
I'm one of those natural raisins. Do you know what I'm saying? Have you ever
the grape pile?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's how I feel right now. Mm-hmm.
That's happened to me twice in my life. Do you remember when you got the double yolk?
Yeah, that was so magical.
I've never seen that in my life.
I do think that was a good omen.
It's always a good omen. Do you know the chances of that? That's like winning a very, very low stakes lottery.
But what happened after that?
It's like 1 in 10,000.
But what happened after
I'm making that up. I want someone to check it. It's going to appear on the screen, whatever the actual odds are.
That's like Leela on the UCLA waitlist.
Bro, don't. 2%. That's 2%. This is
Should I not said that?
No, it's fine.
Why'd you get mad at me?
I didn't get mad at you.
Oh.
My best friend. Anyhow.
I do think we had good material in the other podcast, but I'm going to be
really somber.
It was really somber, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Don't put it in your pants.
Okay.
I wish that I could just edit some of these podcasts because you don't have to listen to the whole thing. The whole thing's not going to be interesting. I wish I could just take certain parts that I liked and just mesh that together. And you know what? Who says that I can't?
Yeah, you can.
Where are you going? Aaron's drunk. He's completely wasted. Like, I don't even know if I've ever seen him this drunk, actually.
Okay, we're fine.
And it's just because I literally gave him a shot of the size that I would take starting off my night.
The recorder fell off. For those listening online, I sincerely apologize, and that's not a reflection of the podcast we aim to be. That is just a reflection of the podcast we are in this moment. Mm-hmm. Continue.
What do you want to get for dinner?
I'm really hungry. I'm really sad that our friends canceled because I want food.
Do you want to go out with me?
Source. Yeah, let's go out.
You want to go out with me?
Yeah. Let's go grab food somewhere.
Or should I just warm up the stir fry in the freezer?
No, let's go out and grab food.
That kind of sounds yummy, though. Veggies and shrimp.
I don't know if I'm feeling shrimp. The shrimp is what's not doing it for me right now.
What would do it for you? Microwavable pizza?
No, I'm feeling something a little bit more...
Like home or farfalla?
More home than farfalla, for sure.
Okay.
Like a mac and cheese.
Okay. Do you want to order it?
In my ass would be just... But I don't think they'd be able to do that for me there. I think we'd have to do takeout.
Ever wanted to be pegged, Aaron?
No.
Okay.
No, never.
I don't care if you do.
No, I sincerely mean that.
I just wanted to know. Anyway.
Why?
Because you talk about things going in your ass a lot, and it's like very disgusting things. And I honestly think that being pegged would be a lot nicer than mac and cheese in your butt, Aaron.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I'll continue. Yeah, guys, I think it's been an interesting day. We've been cooped up. I would flip over to the other side, but again, this is like a type ship that we're running. For those that don't know, I mean, we discussed this in the previous podcast. This is our second run. Sofia's taken advantage of me and gotten me drunk. But it might look a little different to you guys from the first three. This is our fourth one. Basically, we have a ton of overhead. I mean, we're paying rent for the apartment in general. We have all this equipment. And my thought process was, why don't we spend $5,000 on a new camera?
I don't think we should repeat anything that we said in the past podcast.
Okay. Well, but my idea was if we just keep upping the production value, then, I mean, the people that I bought the camera from, that was a crazy experience. Just
describe that.
Just seeing
describe that for me.
The wealth that's in Los Angeles is insane. Because I mean,
but it's like hidden wealth. Like that was like a kind of shabby apartment on the outside.
But it looked really good on the inside.
That's how LA is.
Like it was like
It looks like I used to love going on drives. Now I drive through LA, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
I would literally rather get stepped on by a small horse, because I want to live.
Than drive through LA?
Yeah. For joy. I'm saying I would get more joy.
Right.
But I'd get attention too, and that would be good.
Do you like being physically dominated?
Yes.
I don't know what to do.
I initially get kind of concerned. I get uncomfortable by it, but after that immediate fear, I calm. No, I'm just kidding. And it doesn't matter who's doing it.
I didn't think you discriminated.
No, I don't.
I know. Honestly, we did talk about the Sydney Sweeney, Glenn Powell thing in the first episode.
The controversy.
Let's
give some context for it. Let's just provide it in case no one knows what's going on.
Right.
Just give a little bit of a spin here.
Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, two actors, A-list actors, are doing a movie together.
You'd say A-list?
Both are A-list for sure.
Really? What is?
I'd say they're newer A-list, but they're definitely A-list.
So in like the dictionary, what would you describe as A-list?
if you are in the news constantly, if you're able to choose whatever project you want, if you're able to be on magazine covers, if you're talked about in the news, if you are in a high grossing movie, what do you think defines A-list?
I think if I know who they are.
You know,
Because I think I have the perfect amount of unaware. I'm not saying I should be the one
but
to
do you
dictate.
know who Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell are?
Yes. Yeah,
So
you're right.
you think that they're
right.
A-list?
You're totally right.
What would you think would not make them A-list? She's 1000% A-list. I know you think that he's more A-list than her.
No, I don't. I think for him, he just did Top Gun, right? That's the only big project he's done.
He's A-list. Now he's coming to A-list.
I think anyone who was in Top Gun.
I personally think that this affair made him A-list.
It's been in the spotlight.
Yeah.
They've been dancing.
And you know what? So
Glenn Powell in Sydney has been the headline.
he really likes that joke a little too much.
No, I don't like it. I just seen it. I thought it was creative for whoever thought about it.
So I think that I wish I had a cigarette right now.
Yeah. Like Cole Sprouse.
Nicole Sprouse.
Oh my God.
We also talked about that in the other podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like we're on a hamster wheel, but like
I think smoking indoors is
disgusting.
an awful thing.
You should never smoke indoors.
That
Like
was a
I
terrible
don't
thing.
even I don't care if
I think they should have taken him into the back and shot him in the head for that.
That was a lot.
What I just said or what he did?
Both.
Okay. But what were you reacting to? Because that was unclear to me.
I think the shot in the head is a little jarring.
Okay.
And I don't know if we want to like post that on the internet, but we've gone this far. We've gotten this far. The point is the Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney thing, like, I don't know. And they had like a alleged affair. The rumor is that they had an affair. And they were both with significant others. Glenn Powell's girlfriend broke up with him, and Sydney Sweeney is technically still with her fiance, but some people are saying that she's not. So
I said that.
Alila did too, though.
Oh.
And
That's where I heard it from.
a
Your
reliable-
sister. It just came back to me. I didn't read because I'm like, did I read about it? I didn't
This
read
is
about
definitely how rumors start.
it. 100%. Did we talk about the shooting that happened when we were in school? That was literally just a game of telephone.
Oh, no, we didn't talk about that.
When we went to Michigan, it was our freshman year, and we started just receiving notification that this is a lot, but that there was an active shooter on campus. And we had to hide. It was this whole thing. And it turned out someone had just popped a balloon in a hallway. It
I
literally
fully
shut down the campus.
Barricaded my door. I was by myself.
I did too.
I put all these furniture around my bed and I crawled into it. And then I started crying.
I didn't know that.
And honestly, we were just friends, but I really wanted you to be there.
You hid under your bed? For how long?
Really long time. Like at least 3 hours.
3 hours?
I was so scared. I was so scared.
You
I was
hid
gonna
under
be
your
killed.
bed for 3
Mass
hours?
shootings are my biggest fear, aside from drowning. I was so scared.
What's third on that list? You know what? We'll go back
Any
to it.
sort of like choking to death, like I don't, not being able to breathe is really scary to me.
Uh-huh.
Mass shootings. Being followed by a man in a car.
Oh, for sure. Well,
At
that makes
night.
sense.
That has happened, but you know, still wouldn't want it to happen again.
Yeah, of course. Anyhow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that
think
event.
you
You
conquer
hid
your
under the
fears,
bed
but you never do.
You hid under the bed for 3 hours?
I was so scared.
Makes me so sad.
Really? Would you have held me
Oh, wow. Yeah, probably.
if we were just friends? You would have.
But yeah, that was all hearsay.
It was all hearsay. And so I guess kind of is this Glenn Powell, Sydney Sweeney thing.
But
The point is that I wanted to say that I don't blame them for it, and I would do it.
Do what part of it?
Like, it actually gave me ideas. honestly.
Wait, what?
That if I was with someone who wasn't famous, no, you'll be famous with me. We're going to come up together. We've planned this.
Well, we made a podcast together, so.
Right. But if I was with someone like the guy who Sydney Sweeney's with,
What does he look like?
We'll drop an image. I would 100% stage an affair. I never even thought of that. I even thought like, okay, if Aaron and I are famous one day and we're married, one of us will have to have an affair. And I do think that it should be Aaron, because do you want to have an affair?
No.
But why were you thrusting your hips? And
because we're
pointing
talking
at
about, because that was a stage, obviously.
Right.
We're staging an affair. We're not actually having one.
Well,
you'd want me to actually have an affair?
I mean, it'd be spicy.
You pedophile.
Ew.
It's more of a term, not an actual thing that I'm calling you.
I should get a bucket of water for every time that Aaron missteps on this podcast. It's been so many times today that he's misstepped.
I've been out of line a couple of times, guys. I apologize. Well, you were talking. You were saying some things.
The point is I don't blame them. I would stage an affair fully, especially if I had sexual tension with someone. I would 1000% use it as a way to just stage an affair.
You think this is helping their careers, though?
Oh, 1000%. I think it's helping his. I don't know about hers.
Well, that's just a product of society. It always helps. You know what I mean?
What I've noticed about her is that I actually admired her. Her interviews bother me a lot for many reasons. The things that she says, she comes off very privileged.
Her PR team should be shot in the head.
But I think she's a very talented actress. And Aaron.
Sorry. Yes, I agree. Continue. She is talented. She's
we
very
do
talented.
not support gun violence here. We are
absolutely
completely
not.
against guns. I don't think that they should be made. And
it just made me think about you, like, calling the factories, being like, guys, you just gotta stop making them. Not that they shouldn't be, like, distributed, but that we should, like, the guy who just, like, draws the plans for them, that you're going to his office and being like, stop. Hey, just relax. Okay?
You know what?
Don't
What's
make
great
them.
is that, like, as a child, I think I thought I had that much power too.
What do you mean?
I think that...
No, I think that that's like a brilliant... Like, a lot of people are like, oh, we need to lobby Congress. We need to, like, lobby these politicians. Just go to the guys who, like, draw them at their, like, shitty apartments. And, like, fucking where? Arkansas?
Maybe.
Is that where you guys are drawing them? And then you just go there. And then you tell them to stop. And they'll be like, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Totally. You could end it that way. No one's ever thought of that. I guarantee you.
I bet people have thought of that. That's what I think about because, you know, I don't think that it's going to get done through lobbying politicians.
I agree.
Or people. I don't think that the people are reliable, but the manufacturers are.
Because they have the... Whoa.
The point is, I would stage an affair.
We're getting political.
I would stage an affair.
Pivot to affairs. Yes.
Would you stage an affair?
I think less people
Would you have an affair?
No. Like, actually have an affair, or are we talking about publicity?
In real life, would you ever have an affair?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
You know.
That's good for you.
Yeah. It is. It's pretty nice. No, not in the context that they are, which is like just total spotlighting.
It's the only context I would have an affair in.
It's the exact same as Spotlight the movie.
No.
That's what they
Once
did.
again, you're going for pedophiles.
Okay.
Who staged an affair in Spotlight?
Well, the Catholic Church.
Oh my God, Aaron. Wait, was that Faith? Wait, what?
What?
I don't remember Spotlight.
Okay. There's a lot of newspapers. A lot of writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Aaron loves stuff like that.
If you give me a sequence where people are typing, I'll eat it up.
If you give me a sequence where people are like deciding whether or not that they're gonna be in love, but it's forbidden. But they also have several other lovers. Like, I'll eat that up.
Well, there's no reason why you shouldn't have liked Spotlight.
Aaron.
Anyway, we're gonna pivot.
You go ahead. You're leading this one, remember?
Right. We made a deal. If things went the way that they went on the last one, Sophia's gonna leave me.
I'm gonna walk.
You were fully ready to leave me after that first one.
Well, he was belligerent. Like, I don't even think I've seen him this drunk. I thought he was gonna throw up at one point.
I was
He was face down on the
contemplating
couch.
vomiting.
I was like, there's a pile of laundry across from me right now.
This looks okay. All of this looks okay. Everywhere around us is not great.
We've really only eaten pirate booties and chocolate today.
I'm going to feel so sick tomorrow.
Aaron, why are you so weak? You're so weak.
I love it when you say things and it's completely not about the thing that you're directing. You know, like that wasn't about my tummy. That was about me in general. Anyway, continue.
You have one of the weakest tummies I know.
It's true. I'm not going to.
No, today felt like a fever dream. I don't know.
It was crazy.
It's not real. It can't be real. This can't be real.
Absolutely not.
What was I saying?
We're talking about Glenn, those fucking blondies.
Oh, yeah. That's the only way that I would have an affair. That's what I'm saying.
So you support it, what they're doing.
I fully support it.
That's fine.
I do feel bad for the girlfriend. Like,
Yeah,
I think
true.
that she should have been let in on it. But I think if I did that, Aaron would kind of be into it. I'm not gonna lie. And Sydney Sweeney's fiance gives me that he's into it. Like,
Probably.
you're kind of, you know. But if one of us was to stage an affair, it would have to be Aaron.
You think it would be me?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Would you do it?
Stage an affair? I don't think that would help my career.
Why?
Well, if that's the
Do you
that's
think
the
it's
sole
not
purpose.
helping their careers?
I think it's getting good PR for their movie. I mean, we're talking about it.
I will 1000% watch their movie. I was not interested in it before.
That's true. So maybe they just know what they're doing.
Especially since like X-rated rom-com. Like,
Is it an X-rated rom-com?
That sounds disgusting.
Is it X-rated?
Yes.
X? Not
think-
R?
Look it up.
Right now?
Wait, your phone's right there. I think it is.
X-rated? That means like
I think they have like a lot of
teeters out.
sex. That's kind of what she's known for.
Right. I mean, that's not even just like cock out. Or that is cock out. I feel like that would...
It'd be like a tasteful ball sack.
Especially for a rom-com, I feel like it... A tasteful ball sack?
You know how they do tasteful ball sacks.
No, I actually don't.
I do.
How? Would you... I would actually
It's
like...
like a butt angle, but then you'd see a tasteful ball sack.
I don't think that's tasteful to me.
I don't think
Being
it's...
able to see the balls from behind? Like under? I actually want to know the angle here.
like side angle.
Oh, I see.
Imagine the booty's here, and we're looking, but far, and we're looking at it.
For
and we
example,
see
in
the
the
balls.
White Lotus, the season 2, when Cam was like changing, you know, when she catches him changing.
Yes, that
And you
was
can see
that was
his
a tasteful
dick.
ball sack moment.
That was his.
But
that was
that's the equivalent of tasteful ball sack.
That was
is what
from
I'm saying.
behind. You could see his You could see his penis like from here, from behind. That is crazy. But maybe I just don't have a lot to show for myself.
Aaron, he's just so shocked by penises when he sees them.
He's
just blown away. He can't handle himself when he sees a penis.
right.
And I can. So, who's the stronger person here?
I think most people would agree it's you. Anyone but you rating. What's its rate? It's R rated.
Oh.
Comedies are. Anyone but you is teased as racier than most of the genre.
There's going to be
Racier.
a ton of sex scenes.
I'm sure.
But honestly, I think that they could have just sold it on being like really high art because they're
What?
both good actors and they're both attractive. Like, I don't know if they needed to do... It's definitely putting it in a different genre than it would have been if they didn't do the PR stunt. What do you think?
What do you mean by that?
Like, the PR stunt is giving more like influencer movie.
Exactly.
Or more like J-Lo, Jennifer Aniston type rom-com.
Exactly. That's the thing that I'm not...
And I do think that they were more like...
taken seriously as actors.
They were taken very seriously. Which, I'm not saying like... I love J-Lo as an actress. I think she's incredible.
Right.
But I think like... She also really wanted to go down the rom-com path. Like...
Yes.
And I think that a lot of rom-coms, they could go either way. You know?
I totally agree.
And they chose to go this way with it. But who knows? We don't know what the movie... Maybe the movie will blow us away. You know? But then I also think
what
to
if
myself...
it's literally the best thing that's ever been made?
I will shit my pants.
Me too.
I will be excited. That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
They're both great actors, though. Like, they're
He's
both
so
great.
charming.
And she is genuinely a very good actress.
Yeah, she is.
She seems a little crazy, but like it gives like the method actor and the BFA.
I don't know if it does. She seems to play characters that are synonymous with how she presents in the public.
No, that's not what I mean.
Okay. Let's
I don't mean that
restate.
she's a method actor. I mean that like it gives the psychoticness of that.
Oh, I see. Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Oh.
I hear you. No, I agree. I think so. Yeah, no, I'm interested to see what the product is, how things develop in the next few weeks. If those rumors about her come to fruition in terms of her relationship is what I mean, because I know that he just had a girlfriend, but breaking off fiance is kind of a big deal, I think.
But she okay, and I'm going to go back to this, which is what I admired about her.
Yes.
She kept the fiance thing pretty private.
She did.
Like her love life was never.
It's very much like a Ariana Grande.
No, but Ariana Grande had very public relationships.
But I mean, with
before.
her last one.
With her last one, yes.
That's what I mean.
But I think like with Sydney Sweeney, like she's like similar to like I don't want to compare it to like Meryl Streep, but you know, like
she married an architect, is what you're saying.
But Meryl Streep's love interests were
out
never
of the picture,
never in the public eye,
except for Fredo.
Yeah,
but that was a tragedy.
Yeah, and I don't even think that that's like...
I literally watched a video about Fredo and Meryl Streep, and I started weeping.
When?
This was like a month ago. About their love affair. It wasn't an affair. They just were so deeply in love, and then he died.
But she's married now, right?
Yeah, she's married to an architect.
I think if you died, like...
What profession would you go after?
An already established producer.
I thought you were going to say, someone in a completely different genre because I just want...
Fuck no.
Okay, great.
I would fully sleep my way to the top if I wasn't dating you.
Okay, great. I just wanted to
Which
clarify
is a
that.
testament to how much I love you.
Oh, that you'd stick with all of this.
First of all, in a career sense, I see promise for you. So.
Oh, good.
If we're
There's a
talking
lot
about,
of promise here.
If we're talking about like a financial gain here, I see it. I think you're good with money. I think you'll keep me safe and warm. I think that you would never let our children starve. And I think that you...
Would you?
No. But
okay.
I am a dependable person. The other people... If I'm thinking about other people who I could date is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I see.
Like, I knew from the day that we started dating that you would take care of me for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And before, when you're young, you don't think about that as being important, but
yeah, of
it's
course.
kind of crucial.
When you're like 18, when
I was 18, I'm like,
you don't even know what that is.
Yeah, but now I'm like, if I started dating now, I would look for it even more. Like I would,
for sure.
If I was dating now, I would only date men who were probably very successful.
Sure. With PJs.
PJs?
Private jet.
I wouldn't need a private jet.
No?
I would need some sort of connection, but no.
Okay.
But I say that though, and I'm a sucker for love.
You are such a sucker for love. You say that. I don't think that would actually happen.
I don't think I could ever date someone for reasons other than love.
Yeah. You're too honest. That's the thing is,
true.
I think sometimes you project this idea of
But I do look at
vanity.
women who do it and I'm like, ugh.
You project vanity, but you're very sincere.
It's true.
Like, you're very sincere. I think you present with, like you were saying the other day from work, oh, I want the Gucci bag, because you work with a lot of yuppies, like rich people, and they come in with these brand bags, and you were saying, oh, I want that. But
Well, the thing is
I just don't think that's you.
also what I was saying is that I've never wanted name brand things. I really haven't. Like, I remember I had this math tutor because I've always been awful at math. And she was like my, she danced and worked for my ballet studio, and she was kind of a family friend too. Amazing, amazing woman. And she really taught me the power of manifestation, actually.
Mm.
But she had like saved up all her money to buy these red bottom shoes, these red bottom heels.
Mm.
And that's like do you know what that is?
No.
Like, it's like those black tall pumps with like red bottoms underneath it. Anyway,
no
it's
idea.
very expensive, like very lucrative, whatever. It's basically like a name brand thing. And I remember my mom, because my mom is very, very not name brand.
Yeah, she's not
Like,
at all.
she really has never, and I think my mom is very stylish. And even my
Great
abuelita
style.
is all the women in my family actually,
But yeah,
are very
I don't-
stylish, very beautiful, value beauty, value that sort of thing. But they will look for like the cheapest way to get it. And they'll kind of pride themselves on that. And like, I don't really like shopping. So it was always like, I was actually very grateful for hand-me-downs growing up.
Yeah.
Whereas and also because I was lucky enough that my aunt's and my mom's style was very good. So I was getting cute clothes and I didn't care if they were super name brand. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But my sister, for example, I think she would care more about that stuff in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Though she's never really been like Coach, like that just wasn't in our world growing up either. Like that was never, I don't think I've ever really seen anyone with like Gucci bags.
That's also very like, I feel like a late 20s to mom thing.
Yes. But the moms who I was surrounded by, the older women in my life, never had those things. Sure. Like my dad's mom, she had a lot of really nice things from like Italy or Greece, or like really nice from Paris, from Europe.
Right.
And those were the things that I really valued that she would give to me. And she would only wear like real gold. But like my abuelita was a little bit less like that. And my mom definitely was not like that.
What's funny, my mom is very much, I don't know, she worked at Louis Vuitton as a kid.
Yeah.
When she was in her 20s. She actually worked there for most of her 20s.
Yeah.
Because in Hawaii, how it works is tourism is such a lucrative business. It's all tourism. That's all the state has to show for itself, quite literally. Mm-hmm. It's like the mall and then Pearl Harbor. Those are the only two things that makes money for the state.
Right.
Or
Pearl
for the
Harbor.
island. Right. Pearl Harbor. That old thing.
Right.
And my mom worked at Louis Vuitton because in Hawaii, working at the mall is actually, you can make pretty good money.
Yeah.
Because people go there to spend money. And every year, Louis Vuitton would have this kind of warehouse sale for employees only. And it would be at 2 a.m. during Christmas time. And they would basically, you'd be able to buy a bag for like 90% off.
That's so nice.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they still do that.
But I think also like, I don't know if your mom would be that into designer if she didn't have that experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was your grandmother into designer?
No. My grandmother, it was like 10 cents cheaper to buy the pretzels with salt on it. So she'd buy those pretzels and then take the salt off one by one. It was crazy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
See, Aaron is kind of a scammer when it comes to money.
What?
You are.
What do you mean?
You fiend for the cheapest deal.
That's true.
And you're good at it. And I think that's why my mom likes you.
Yeah.
Because also financial stability, it's not always about who's going to make you the wealthiest. It's about who's going to help you save and who's going to help you kind of scam your way through life a little bit.
Finagle. When I was in the 9th grade, I'm sure Starbucks thought about filing a class action against me, because the way that it used to work is you'd get a free drink when you signed up for the app. Just free drink when you signed up for the mobile app. And then you'd get a free item of any choice on your birthday. Mm-hmm. So it could be not just a drink, but a food item. So I had a spreadsheet, and I probably still have it somewhere, where it was a day for every single day of the year, where it was a new email address. Because in the olden days, you could just generate an email and give you a fake inbox. So I'd have one for every single day of the year, so that any day could be my birthday. And because it was on the mobile app, there was like it was incognito essentially, because you could just mobile order and then something would arrive. Mm-hmm. And I remember initially it just started as me getting like free drinks, and then it started as me getting free sandwiches, and then I realized you could go to the store and see what was sold out. Mm-hmm. And then you could order that item, it would be sold out, and they could refund you cash. I don't know if I should be saying that.
I don't know if you told me that part
on the podcast.
It's okay.
It's been like 10
like
years.
So it doesn't
and I didn't make that much money. What's funny about that is if I had literally just maybe gotten a job, that probably would have been a lot more productive.
But
than what I
think
had
the thing about you is you want to know that you can scam people for money.
No, no, and I don't do that.
No, but I think you want to know that it's more valuable when it's free.
Yeah, I was just on a high.
Yeah, you wanted to know that you were doing something lucrative, that you had this thing going.
It wasn't very lucrative.
But no one else was doing it because no one else would spend that much time.
No one else would literally waste all their time doing something so.
See, like anyway, my mom appreciates that about you, funny enough.
Right.
But the point is, I never wanted those designer things. I never thought about designer things.
No.
Until I started working at this Pilates studio.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Because wealthy people go to the studio and they will just toss like their new Coach bag, I don't know, like on the towel rack.
And does that seem attractive to you? Like you want that lifestyle?
Yeah, I do. I know that sounds so, again, I present as vain, even though I'm a genuine person, because, I do say all the time, like, I want that influencer life where, like, I can just get up and travel, or, like, people are following me everywhere. Like, I want the wealth. I want the fame. And I do in a way, but I think that it's more tied to the fact that I just want to be an actress and I want to have freedom. I want to be able to just travel and, like, feel that I don't feel guilty for spending money. Mm. Like, I do feel that I'm very okay financially, but I do feel guilty if I splurge on myself.
Yeah,
I don't know if that
sense.
will go away if I have more money.
I think
maybe
I think
it was also like
to an extent, but I think you'll always feel somewhat that way because there are things that are just needless. Again, like
but I do it would be nice to have like luxury
but once
fashion.
you
I would have probably invested my time more in that than other things.
Once you hit a wall, everything is a relative scale. Does that make sense? Yeah. So your cost of living is on scale to whatever house you have. So now it's like, oh, I have a nicer house and I have kids, but that's like relative to
but not if you're
how much that costs.
Wealthy. Not if you're super
I think yeah, of course. Like if you have like $1 billion, but if you have like 20 million even, and you buy like a $10 million house, do you know what I mean? You still have, there's still a scale there.
But you still have a $10 million house.
Of course. All I'm saying is.
But I don't know. I think in LA, like. You okay? You okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot
Especially
of
our neighborhood. We're just surrounded by a lot of wealth, and
yes.
it feels like it's directly tied to this industry that I want to be part of.
Right.
And I feel like if I get that Gucci bag, I'll make it somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's more ingrained in where you want to be professionally than
yeah. And I don't even really need, like, if I die and I never get a designer item in my life,
I think that would be so meaningless to you.
I would be okay. But if I died and I didn't get a dream role in a movie, I would beg
kill you.
God to reincarnate me.
I would kill you. What? Wait, what were we talking about?
Wait, what?
I have no idea what we were even talking about.
You would kill me. That's what you said several times.
For what, though?
For not getting a role in a movie.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, life's been fine.
Life's been fine.
To sum it all up.
To sum it all up, yeah.
Yeah. I think that it's been weird being out of school.
It has been. It feels like I'm in a waiting period. Like I'm just waiting for something to happen to me. But I also know that that's not a good mentality to have.
Yeah. I've been feeling that way too. I've been trying to get over that.
And I can't get over it because
Me neither.
That makes me feel better that you say that.
Yeah. I don't think I've told you. I sometimes feel like, and this isn't to make you feel bad at all, I feel like if I express, because you're very honest about when you're feeling instability, and sometimes I feel like if I validate that instability with me saying I also feel that way, then it's just unhelpful versus it being helpful, because it's then me acknowledging your feelings and then saying I feel the same way. Sometimes I feel like if I express that I'm feeling the same way as you, when you feel that way, and that's not all the time, but when you do,
it's a lot. I've been feeling that way a lot, and I can understand
in the
why
last
you feel
week
that way.
maybe.
Yeah, last week has been a little hard.
But I've been feeling that way too. You feel like you're in this cyclical pattern, and especially this last 6 months went by very quickly.
This last 6 months, I do feel
they went up my ass.
That I expected a lot more to happen in a year than did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm disappointed in myself a little bit. But I do want to go back to you because I feel that I take away a lot from you. And
what?
I take away a lot from you.
Like what?
Like, I sometimes forget that you... for example, the podcast before this, Aaron, was really silent, really... feeling heavy, kind of like disassociating a little.
Oh, totally.
And when he starts to disassociate, I know like something's wrong. He's probably feeling sad, something like that. And then, you know, I gave him some alcohol. He got loosened up a little. He got sad for a moment there. And then we restarted the podcast and you said that you were lonely and you felt sad. And I did not know that. I couldn't tell that you felt lonely or sad, and that is my fault as a partner.
No, it's not you. I didn't tell you.
No, but you're sometimes a difficult person for me to read. Right. Which is interesting because I know what you need now. I think it took me a while to understand what you need. But now I think I'm able to give you what you need so you can speak to me in an open and honest way. But I'm still figuring out like how to read you sometimes. And I think that that's like a really interesting part of our relationship, because in most of my friendships, romantic relationships, familial relationships, I haven't experienced that. Right. But I'm sure that you haven't experienced like an explosion every day of your life with me.
That's true.
And that's probably a lot for you to deal with. Like you probably haven't had to hide how you're feeling all the time because you feel that it'll destroy me or something. Like that's just a lot to put on you.
I don't feel like it'll hurt you. That's not what I'm saying.
But you don't think it's helpful. And like I was saying yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, my family has been going through a lot lately.
Yeah.
And it's been 45 minutes, bro.
Well, we're in a good funk, I feel like. Just stop it.
Okay, we'll stop in 15 though.
Yeah.
We had to put on a timer because Aaron likes to go over on the podcast. No one likes to listen to our voices for that long.
Just love you guys. I love thinking about you guys in the shower.
Okay.
When I'm in the shower, not you guys in the shower. That's inappropriate.
Right. We only have one listener, and it's Chris. So.
Well, that's what I enjoy.
Mm-hmm. So what was I saying? Oh, my family's just
talking about your family and they're difficult.
My family's just been going through like a lot recently, and there's been. I'm not gonna say everyone is okay. I want to start by saying that everyone in my family is okay.
Yes.
But there's been like small scale tragedies in my family. I feel like recently.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially emotionally.
Emotionally, for sure. And
certainly in just what has happened. Yeah.
What has happened? Yeah, I'd say small scale tragedy is a good way of describing it. I think my family would say that's too dramatic, but that's the way I feel about it.
Yes.
And we've had big disagreements on how to deal with it. I'm starting to see my parents more as humans instead of.
That's a hard transition.
My parents, and I've been very hurt by it. And
it's really hard.
It's been really hard for me to call them the same way I used to, rely on them the same way I used to. But on the flip side of that, my brother and I have gotten really, really close. And because he recently has a new girlfriend. He has stayed away from home a little bit longer. So he's kind of
He's entering a similar phase that you're in.
I felt before that it was like me far away, and then my brother and sister were the tight ones, and now I feel like it's kind of transitioning because Andreas and I are more in a similar place in our lives.
Yeah.
And he's been taking on, thankfully, like I really appreciate him a lot of those difficult conversations. And anyway, the point is that I've noticed that whereas before I felt like I never thought about saying things to people. Like I don't really have a filter. Like if I really feel that I want to say something to someone, even if in the back of my head it's like, maybe this isn't the most helpful thing, I say it.
Yes.
And I don't know if this is like a result of maybe me growing or me being with you and learning alternatives to that, but recently every time I call my parents, whereas before I would express that I don't agree with them, that they need to be doing something differently, and I was almost proud of myself for expressing those things because it was so hard, but now I don't do it because I'm like, this just isn't helpful. And it's a different way of approaching things. Like it's a quieter way. I'm not as used to it, but it feels...
Picking your battles.
Yeah. Truly picking my battles. And I really haven't had...
That's a important
battles
thing.
In a long time.
I truly think... Sorry, not to interrupt you.
No, say.
But I think truly in any type of life scenario, it's picking... Because not everything can hold equal value.
Yeah.
So if you try to do that, it's just not going to be the same. I truly believe. And even if you look at like fucking in war, not to bring it to that.
You're right.
But people can't just say, oh, we're going to just attack. That just doesn't work.
Yeah. I guess it's also hard because...
Knowing when to retreat and when to...
This is something... that I feel very strongly about, that it's probably the most important thing, the thing that's on my mind the most is what's going on with my family specifically right now.
Sure.
It's on my mind constantly. So it's really hard for me not to say anything, but also, I don't, and I get upset because, in my family, we were really taught to just speak our minds. Like that was kind of the way that it was, even though as I grow up, I realized that there's a lot there's just a lot of things that my family keeps to themselves and doesn't talk about. And I think like through conversations with my brother, I'm realizing that.
Yeah.
And I realized that the generation, they raised us to be more open. I think that's why we are. I think that they weren't raised that way. And there's a lot of things that my parents hide.
Right.
But sometimes I feel like, am I going against what I believe in if I don't say something? But then I also realize, well, maybe it's better to be the mediator or be gentle. I don't even know
if it's that.
In that way.
I don't even know if it's being gentle, but it's...
Because... No, go ahead. I interrupted you.
And I'm not saying you're not speaking your mind for things that you really believe in. I think when it's... And I'm not even saying, oh, what will me speaking do to the situation? That's not what I'm saying either. But I'm saying, I think, especially in what's been going on in your life, it's been a matter of how can I effectively make an active change. And sometimes that's not by telling other people that they're doing something wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm not saying I don't think you're backseating this situation by not calling them on the phone and giving them a stern talk. I don't always think that that's
the best option.
How change is always done 100% of the time. I think sometimes people need to, and I have faith in other people for that reason. Sometimes why I don't always tell people when I think they're doing something wrong is because I truly think that if they're left alone for a minute,
they'll realize it themselves.
They'll either realize it, and I think to a certain extent, you know when you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, you're right. And sometimes having that support helps you realize that.
Yeah, or even just...
But I guess
it's hard.
What this is coming back to is that I never want you to feel like because I'm upset, you can't express that you're upset.
Yeah, I know that.
Because I do think that you do that constantly. And not to put you on the spot, but like we said in the other podcast, I do feel that sometimes you'll say something. Like, for example, what you said when you were sad. Or last night you mentioned something with our friends that I never even knew happened. And sometimes we'll be having conversations. I'm not remembering.
Okay. Skip it.
But also, I don't know, sometimes you'll share details about your life or like things that you watched or things that you learned or ways that you feel about certain things, or you'll keep things from me that have happened in the past to protect me, and it'll come out like in a casual conversation kind of like months down the line.
Sure.
And it's not like you were hiding anything from me. It's not like a big thing, but it's like I didn't know that about the person that I spend every waking second with.
I think there's a beauty in that too. Because that does happen.
I don't think you know that about. I don't think it's...
There are things that you tell me that for example, you hid under your bed for 3 hours.
But that didn't happen while we were together, because if it did, you'd know about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, these things will, like, you'll be like, it happened a month ago. It happened a week ago. It happened, when we were together, clearly. That's the thing that I'm like, I don't know this person sometimes as well as I think I do.
No, I don't think that's it to an extent. I don't think that it's you don't know me as well. I don't think that that's how you should interpret it. Not to tell you how to feel about it, but I think that it's just... There are always going to be, and this is, I think, a good thing, but there's always going to be things we're learning about each other, no matter how long we've been together.
True. Which is wonderful.
Yeah.
I do think it's wonderful, and it's exciting, and it keeps things interesting. But sometimes it makes me a little tiny bit sad. Because I think sometimes you hold things from me, not because... I think some things are random, but I think some things are purposeful that you keep from me to protect me or to make me feel safe in that situation, to make me feel comfortable. Because you don't want to express like how you're feeling because you want me to feel okay. And I just feel like I've never done that. Well, I have done that for you sometimes, but not to the extent that you do it for me. And I just don't want you to feel like you have to do that, I guess.
Thanks, buddy.
Of course.
We'll hug that one out. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I think I also need to learn to, and I have been trying to, but I think learning to, because I see in the moments where I do validate you by reciprocating, because I think that a lot of the times we feel things together.
Mm-hmm. But what's funny is that I think you realize that we feel things together and sometimes I don't.
Well, because sometimes I don't express it.
Exactly.
And I think that the majority of the time...
I think we're more connected than I see we are.
Yes, I feel the same way.
But I think you see the connection more.
Yes. Maybe, yeah. I think sometimes you feel like you're alone.
Yeah.
I think that you often
But
feel...
you feel that way too, I mean, sometimes.
Of course. And I think that that's just something we're working on. But I think that oftentimes when you feel that feeling of isolation, you feel like I'm the only one going through this.
Yeah.
And we sleep inches away from each other. And we can be feeling that exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yet we feel like we're the only person in the world feeling that way.
That's true. And it's a nice reminder that we both feel that way.
And I think anyone who is in that scenario, there's someone else feeling the exact same way as you.
Yeah. And I think it's important to share that with your partner because...
Or share that with your friends.
Yeah. And I do feel that way. Like when I spend time with my friends, I do feel that way. Especially recently. I think that when we were in college, especially given the nature of our program that we were in, it was very competitive and very just it fed into the insecurities that you naturally have. So there were things that I would hide more from my friends or, you know.
Right.
What are you looking at?
Nothing. No, keep going.
No, I forgot what I was saying.
Insecurities, things you were keeping from your friends.
Yeah, there's just more things that you would keep from your friends or that, you know, I feel like people sometimes preyed on each other's failure.
Right. I mean, my dad used to always tell me this one thing. He would always say, and I think this is like a sad thing to generalize, but he would always be like, you know, nobody reads the newspaper for the good news. It doesn't make you feel good. Right?
I love the good news in the newspaper.
Well, I think I think that the majority of people, when they hear about other people's good fruition.
But no, I do realize since college, I don't feel as happy for other people's successes. And that is a very honest thing to say. And it makes me mad at myself because I used to be so proud of other people. And I really try to be, and sometimes I genuinely am, but there's also this ping of like, why am I not there? Why am I not as good as them?
It's hard not to hold a mirror to a situation.
Yeah, and I totally hold a mirror to situations and compare myself all the time.
Yeah.
And that's not fair to the people who are sharing that with you.
Of course.
It's not fair to them.
But and to that, I feel like when people are sharing that information, sometimes when I feel that way, because I do at other people's good news, sometimes when I feel that way, it's because at the same time, I feel like they're saying it. And maybe they're not, but I feel like maybe sometimes other people are saying that to
hurt you or to put you down.
Hurt me or put me down in a sort of
and
way.
And I do think...
And that could just totally be a projection.
I felt a lot that way in college. I've totally felt that way in college.
And I saw that a lot in college.
So coming out of it, it's harder to trust people and feel happy for them.
But
I do think it's more genuine now.
Totally. And I've heard good news that our friends have gone through and I've been happy for them. So
No, I am 100% happy. But
it's a weird thing.
It is a weird thing because I felt 100% happy going into college about things, and then
About everything.
about everything, yeah, about
Yeah.
people's successes specifically. I was really negative about other things, and I felt so stupid and naive for that after a while, and I think I'm trying to rebuild that
Yeah. I
because
think that's a good thing.
I do want to find joy in that, and I
Yeah.
think that that's a very important part of being a good friend, and it's really hard to find in what we do, especially when we're all kind of failing at it right now,
Sure.
you know?
I think that if you can take other people's successes and try to find that, that there's some hope in a way, as a hopeful tool as opposed to a I'm not succeeding tool.
Yeah.
Like, think of it more as, okay, we're getting on the same elevator, as opposed to they're on a cliff
Yeah.
and I'm at the bottom.
Yeah, it's realizing they're not your competition, and that would be my biggest advice to people, but also it's hard to take your own advice.
It's really hard.
And I think it's a choice every day. Like I wake up every day and I'm like, I have choices in my day. I can go outside, I can go for a walk, I can see people, I can feed myself good food, I can do something creative that day that I'm proud of.
Or just bury your head.
Or I could sit on my phone all day. I could eat candy all day. I could not leave my house all day, which is kind of what I did today.
Yeah, that's definitely what we did.
But I also am thinking like, and it's usually they're all or nothing for me. I could be like, where's my life going? I'm doomed to just lay in bed all day. But then there's also days where, we got up at 11, which is the latest I've slept in a really long time, like probably since college. But we still made ourselves a good breakfast. And
we had a fairly productive day in terms of...
Yeah. And then we procrastinated. We didn't leave the house. That sucked. But we cleaned the house. But then it got messy again. But then we filmed something and got it done. And I had a breakdown and we had a fight. And we basically felt like we couldn't do it. We were doomed. We were like...
Drank Windex.
You drank Windex momentarily. I felt like, where is my life going? I felt total doom. But then I still did it. And then we filmed this podcast. And I was just eating a bunch of shit. Didn't feed myself lunch or dinner. Just crap. I felt gross. I haven't left the house. But I filmed the podcast. And I was like, I'm happy that we're filming this. But then we finished the podcast. And it was awful. And we were drunk. And we were both crying. And we were both hungry. But then we decided to get back up and do the podcast again. And I'm really proud of us today.
This time was good.
Because we kept getting back up today, even when it was hard.
Even when
that's how we're going to end the podcast.
Even when we felt like we should stop, we kept going.
Yeah.
So, there are lessons in that. And for all of you guys that are out there, it doesn't last. That feeling that I felt this morning, which is, when will this change? Everything will come and go.
Yeah, and I think be honest with the people that are around you, because they're probably feeling the same thing and they probably need you to be honest with them about it.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, with that said, I love you. I want to kiss all of you. I'm little guy.
And I'm big girl. FIFA for fun, bitch.
Good job, buddy. Cut.